Welcome to Build a Web App in 2 hours. In this session, we're going to do a quick overview of the web app that we're going to be building, which happens to be Neo's Planet Manager app. So in this quick overview, we're going to meet Neo, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about the requirements for his app. And then we'll also do a quick demo to see what an example of that app might look like. So my name is Scott, and I'll be your guide on this journey of creating Neo's Planet Manager app. And this is Neo. He's our Outsystems community mascot, and he's decided that he wants to start a travel agency. So his vision is that he would have a mobile app that would allow people to go ahead and plan new space trips from different launch sites on the planet to different planets that would be out there in our galaxy. But he realizes that to be able to do this, he's going to need a back office app where he can manage all of those launch sites and planets. And Neo's a little concerned with all the entrepreneurs building rockets and getting ready to go to space that he needs his app ready as soon as possible so he can partner with them to be able to have the greatest and quickest space travel agency. So his requirements are that we make sure we can go ahead and manage launch sites. So he'd like to see a list of launch sites, and then whoever is a manager would be able to actually create new launch sites, and then anyone should be able to see launch sites, but only managers would be able to save and edit them. And when we look at a launch site, it'd be really nice to be able to see that on a map so you'd know exactly where it is. He'd also like a few screens to manage the planets. And we'd like to be able to see the planets sort of in a gallery and know which planets we can go to. Managers would be able to create new planets. And then he'd also like a screen to be able to edit any of the planet information and then save that as necessary. So let's go ahead and see a quick demo of an example of the Planet Manager app. So here we are in the Planet Manager app. And you can see that we're going to have an icon and a title with some menus at the top. And here's our first set of screens, which are on the launch sites. So we'll have a list of launch sites. We'll be able to search them, sort them, and do all kinds of cool things. And then if we select one of the launch sites, it will show us all of the details, allow us to edit and change those details. And then here's the map that actually shows us where this launch site happens to be on the Earth. And then if we go to planets, we can actually see a photo gallery of the planets that are available. We'll be able to load new planets from NASA when we need to change those images. And we'd also be able to go ahead and select any one of the planets by clicking on the card. And then when we see the card, we can again see the details. In this particular case, it also shows the example of this. We are logged in as Hopper, which is one of Neo's friends, but he's not a manager. So in this particular case, he can't save or edit the planets. All he can do is go back and return to the gallery. So he can view things, but he doesn't have the security level and access control to let him go ahead and make the changes. So we're going to build those 4 screens, and included in that is obviously this menu, some security about being logged in and knowing who the user is, and being able to manage all of that as well. So let's go back and talk about how we're going to build all of this. So now you may be asking yourself, can we really build all of that in 2 hours? Come on, Scott, that's an awful lot of stuff. Well, there are a few simple steps that will allow us to do this. And there are about 10 steps in general, and each of those 10 steps takes around 10 minutes or less. So we're going to get started by creating the simple shell of the application, and then we'll bootstrap some of the data about the launch sites and the planets. And from that data that we get into the system, we're going to go ahead and scaffold the basic launch screens. And then once we scaffold those screens, we're going to go ahead and add a Google Map component from the open source Forge, which is free. And once we add that Google Map component, we'll go ahead and place it in the launch site detail screen so that we'll be able to see those launch sites like we just did in the demo. Then we'll go ahead and create a screen from one of our templates, and that'll help us create that gallery screen a little bit faster. And then we'll go ahead and start customizing the look and feel of our app. We'll put the security that Neo would like to make sure only managers can make the change. And then we'll go ahead and connect and test a RESTful service to get the real planet images that he wants from NASA. So there's a lot to do there, but we can actually get all of that done in 2 hours with Outsystems. So that's it for this quick overview. Join me in the next section if you haven't set up your personal environment. In the next section, we'll set up your personal environment, install Service Studio, and make sure you can connect to your personal environment so that you'll be able to begin building this app. If you already have your personal environment set up and Service Studio is ready to go, then you can skip the next section and go directly to the first section where we'll begin building our application.